Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out a new song from Twice, Moonlight Sunrise. This is their newest track that has come out, and since I am kind of dipping my toe in the discography of Twice, I thought we should check out their newest song so I can kind of see what they sound like in this part of their career. I've checked out some of their like early stuff throughout their debut. I checked out one that was kind of like somewhere in the middle, and now we're in more recent stuff, so I'm just kind of getting an overview of their music before I kind of am a little more strategic about what order I'm going to do it in. Let me know down in the comments if you have like a specific order of how you think I should go through this, of like certain albums or whatever, because I usually just go chronological, but if there's like a specific order that I should be doing it in, let me know. But we're going to be checking out this track, and I really don't know what to think because the last Twice song I listened to threw me off a little bit, and now I'm like, I don't know what to expect. So I'm very excited to see where they've come in their career, and also to see an English track. It's going to be a little bit different this time around. I am going to be watching a lyric video first because I like to listen to the song and the vocals and focus in on that. My brain gets overwhelmed very easily, and since I don't know what the music video is going to be, I like to play it safe. So I'm going to be listening to the song first with a lyric video, even though English lyrics, so it's a little bit easier for me, and then I will be watching the MV afterwards. So let's check out the song. Let's see what Twice is like. New era.
I guarantee I gotcha. I've been craving for your love. Can't see nobody but us. So I
Ooh, I like that beat coming in. The like drum pad or whatever. This is fun. I like the beats so far. Lots of kind of like little electronic moments happening. It sounds like it's just sort of a fun time. Like it's not like kind of ballady. It doesn't have some of the like over pop sounds in it either. I really like that beat coming in. I'm tripping over butterflies. Oh yeah, baby, I don't really mean to rush, but I really need your touch if I'ma make it through the night. I really like the cadence that they're doing, where they're kind of, it's almost like melodic talking, which is interesting to me because they're staying really in that like comfortable middle zone of their voices, with a few little moments where they're like pushing a little bit more, like at the end of that previous line, but it's really in this kind of talking cadence with like obviously some more like sing-song rhythm to it. I want to know what the drop is going to be like when we get to the chorus, how we're going to shake things up, because this feels a little bit more like conversational, which I think fits with the kind of story that we're having here, but it also feels a little bit more personable because it's not so much that someone's like singing to you, it feels more like someone's talking to you. See, like this is a little bit higher range. Beautiful little flip into that falsetto. Ooh, okay, interesting. I liked the falsetto that we got there at the beginning. The lyrics are fun. Interesting that it didn't really like drop the way that I thought it might have, like when we got into the chorus, but it's still fun. Like I don't know, there's like a lo-fi feeling to it, and it feels very much like they're talking about Moonlight Sunrise. I think of like that weird in-between time when it's like really late at night, it's almost early morning, you know, that weird point where you're like, I don't know if it's morning or night anymore. We're like at this weird in-between phase, and for me, this style of music, like lo-fi, is really what I turn to when I'm like up at a time I probably shouldn't be, and it's like this weird, I don't know, hazy kind of time where there's like it's almost like not dark enough for all of the lights and stuff to really shine, but it's not bright enough to like not have like straight lights and stuff on. I hope that makes sense, but I feel like the vibe fits perfectly for the kind of time that they're talking about. I'm really excited to see the MV because I hope that they bring in some of that like feeling into it.
I want you to hear me say moonlight, sunrise, baby come be my starlight. Moonlight, sunrise, baby just to make you
I love that cadence on that line too.
sunrise, baby let's do it all night. Moonlight, sunrise, I guarantee I gotcha. Loving in the feed.
Oh, that was fun. That like the way she like flipped up at the end of the line. There's lots of little fun things in their cadence where like there's this talking feeling, which I think also fits with this idea of like being awake at a weird time of night / morning, where you like change the way that you're talking, partly because like you're tired, but also like everyone else is asleep and there's this weird quiet to the whole world. But it was fun the way that she like flipped up there with that I guarantee that I gotcha or something. Yeah, I gotcha. That was fun.
Baby, you can heat them alive when you need it. Say that you try, baby, you succeeded. Got a craving, baby, can you feed it? You can trip.
Love a rap part, but also the rap itself was more like melodic, again, kind of fitting with the way that they're doing the vocals, and also like not overly aggressive or putting a bunch of like unnecessary energy into it. Like it's still fitting with this, that weird zone of like, it's not hype party kind of music. It's like that weird lo-fi early morning kind of feeling to it. Almost like being in a car, like driving home after you've been out doing stuff and you're kind of tired, but you're still kind of energized from being out. I speak like I go out and do things.
Heat them alive when you need it. Say that you try, baby, you succeeded. Got a craving, baby, can you feed it? Take a trip on the moonlight. Follow me to the sunrise. Every day, every night. Hey, come with me, don't think twice. Oh, yeah. Baby,
Whenever they say twice in something, I always giggle a little bit. They like work it into the lyrics.
make it through the night. I got the moonlight, take it like sunrise. Come take a shine on me, I gotcha. I don't know how to say this. I hope this song's on your playlist. This feeling's so hard to
I love that part, the little pre-chorus part.
right now. It's I need your cup right now. I want you to hear me say moonlight.
Her voice.
Baby, come be my starlight. Moonlight, sunrise, baby, just to make you stay. Sunrise, baby, let's do it all night. Moonlight, sunrise, I guarantee I gotcha.
I love that little I gotcha where they like flip up and they like tense their vocals a bit more. They're doing some cool things of adding in these little cries. I don't know the group well enough to know if that's like a characteristic of their voice. I know some people use their false vocal cords a lot more than other people, which I've talked about before, but I don't know if I've talked about it on a Twice reaction. Allow me to go on a minor tangent about the biology of how we make speech sounds. So there are two vocal cords, real vocal cords, false vocal cords. They're just some muscles on top of it, and you'll get some people who just activate those muscles. They tighten them up. I hesitate to say that because a lot of people will say that tightness in the voice is a bad thing. I have differing opinions. I'm not a vocal coach. I'm allowed to have differing opinions on how voices are healthy or whatever. There's nothing inherently unhealthy about using your false vocal cords, like any muscle, right? Like if you overuse any muscle in your body, you constrain it. It's just one of those things, and some people just naturally do that, whereas other people kind of intentionally tighten up those vocal cords and then release them, and that's how you get that kind of cry sound. You'll get it with vocal fry too, but that kind of like tension and release is what makes that cry effect. But I like the way that they're kind of putting that in, especially since a lot of the time with female voices, they'll use their false vocal cords to put in that vocal fry effect into it, and a lot of the time it's to deepen their voice or it's because a voice is tired. You'll hear like people with higher voices, their voices will get more gravelly. You hear it with like even deeper voices. When your voice is tired, your voice gets gravelly because you can't activate your vocal cords the same way that you would normally. Your voice is tired. I say this as someone whose voice is currently tired. I probably sound a little bit more scratchy than I normally do. So you're using your false vocal cords above it to kind of give you that vibration that you need to actually make speech sounds. So I like that they're kind of adding that in. Again, the storytelling of this being that late at night kind of time of day where you're kind of tired. You've probably been out. I don't want to say like anything like any big assumption about what this song is about, but living your life before this, and you've probably been using your voice and things like that. So I like that they're putting in those little cries. It's fun. It adds a little bit of texture to the vocals as well. Again, we're kind of staying in their kind of speaking part of their voice, the middle part of their voice. Every once in a while, we get a little bit of a more like head voice moment where they lighten up their voice quite a bit. Putting in those little textures into the voice is a great way of emphasizing certain words and adding that interest into the cadence. Okay, little vocal run. This is a great example of what I was talking before about like how you put tension in your voice and then release. That like da 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 is like the same thing of like part of how she's getting it's part of it is her going from a lower note to a higher note, but also when you're putting a little bit more tension into your voice and then it gets really airy, you can kind of fake the effect a little bit of your voice sounding deeper and then higher, because the more air that you have in your voice, it just sounds lighter in general. So it kind of tricks your brain into thinking that it's a higher note than it actually is. So it's a great way of like using that effect, again, making that cadence a lot more fun and interesting, but also using a nice little vocal technique to make more of a contrast between those two notes. Even got a little bit of that vocal fry texture at the beginning. The backing vocals there, I feel like there was too much. So like at the beginning we have a little bit of a what we call a voiced onset. Again, let me nerd out about how speech sounds work. Voice onset is basically you start using your vocal cords before you're actually saying any words. So she had a little bit of that before the I, which is a vowel. Vowels are really open letters. So having that little voice onset of her like putting that little bit of a cry or vocal fry into the beginning of that is interesting. And then we had a lot of it in the part where there was more way closer to like a speaking tone. And then some nice little vocal moments in the background. Nothing like too over the top, but it just adds a nice layer to it, kind of filling in some of the space in the back of the track. Hear the voice onset. There's a lot of vocal fry in that one. Ooh, nice little drum moment there. And those backing vocals, I hear you. Okay, I don't know who was doing the little backing vocal run thing there, but they were putting a lot into that and I appreciate it. Let me know who it was. Because they were not giving up. Listen to that. Nice. I love the pulling out of all the production, and then it was just like a main vocal with a couple probably of other like backing tracks on it. Very, again, so different from what else I've heard from Twice at this point. I think that that's going to be like a thing that happens. Is that at the moment with the little obviously I've only heard a few songs from them at this point, but from what I've heard so far, such different songs. I wasn't expecting something to be lo-fi feeling and very like minimal in terms of production, but it had like the right elements to make it work. Yeah, and just I feel like after their last song I listened to, which was their debut, they had a little bit more of a brighter sound to it because it was far more pop. And had like this kind of forward, bright, almost more like pingy sound in terms, again, I don't mean that as a critique, but it was just a different style of singing as opposed to this one. I also say that because I've been listening to that song like a lot since I last heard it for my reaction. So I've had a bit more time to kind of hear their voices and have an opinion about it. And this is much more of a mature sound, which makes sense. It's much later in their career, but a bit of a more evenly kind of like chest placed sound, and they're not really emphasizing those pop elements. But we need to check out the music video. So far, I like the color palette, but I'm also hoping for some like, I don't know, neon, something that feels like street lights, kind of nightlife. We'll have to wait and see though. I feel like my sound is too low. See this? The kind of nightlife feeling. Do the butterflies mean something? Like specific, like within the Twice, I don't know, mythology? I kind of have my own ideas about like butterflies. Butterflies like transformation. It's kind of the one that usually gets talked about. But let me know if there's like a specific thing. If this is a recurring theme, maybe. I like the colors. Oh, cute. Little like animation over top of it. I really like the kind of retro feel. Love when I go back and the frame is amazing. Her smile. She's not the one that I pointed at the smile before. This is a different smile. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, I like the retro feel. I like this feeling of almost... Because when I think of the retro, it doesn't really fit with like the sonic part of it, but I think of the feeling of almost like the romanticism when we look back in time. That's almost what it makes me think of. We see like a simplicity. We see it as like better than the current situation because we only remember the things that have kind of stood out. And a lot of the time we like to focus on kind of the things we celebrated from that era. So that kind of fits with the feeling of, I don't want to think about anything else. I just want to like live in this moment that the lyrics kind of go into of, I just want to have this moment with you here with me. And let's not think about anything else. Let's not worry about anything else. So I feel like the retro aesthetic kind of lends itself to that feeling. Are Furbies in the back? Not to get completely distracted. Ooh, love the lighting transition. Oh, the heart, the lights. I really like her voice. Oh no, why did she have like the rain cloud over top of her? But also the umbrella, so maybe she's protecting herself. Again, when I was saying like we kind of see things in this way that is like rose-colored glasses. So maybe she's like using that to protect herself from this thing that's like hanging over her, but she's not going to think about it for right now. Because it's like a blue sky. The bow is a bold choice. But we have the key again, which is like in the heart locket thing. The pearl earrings too also make me think retro. That was kind of a aggressive way of putting the fork in this. I don't even know what it was, but it was more aggressive than I was expecting. Jello or something? Who are the kitties? Not to be distracted by animals, but I am easily distracted by animals. Aww. Are we throwing things now? I like how it's almost gotten like progressively darker in the lighting, it feels. Or like there's almost like more cooler tones as it's gone through. Like we had a lot of warm like oranges and pinks at the beginning, and I feel like there's more like blues and purples now, which is a nice kind of storytelling as it's like progressing through the night maybe as like less light is there. I wonder if we'll come back to some of those warm tones. So this is almost like a room that's been abandoned, right? Like it's been left without being inhabited. See, we get the warm colors back. I like the way the flowers came up. The way she popped up was cute. I like getting to see some of the choreo. Not anything like, again, I wasn't really sure what the choreo would be. I felt like there probably would be choreo because there's a music video, but I wasn't sure what they would really do for it. We're not seeing a ton of it, so that kind of makes me want to see a live performance or like dance practice or something. But I wasn't really sure what the dance would like feel like or what it would have in it, because I feel like the song is kind of difficult to put any kind of choreographed dancing to. I feel like it's got a good beat to it, but it doesn't have the same kind of energy that I feel like songs that have like choreographed dancing kind of lends best to. I like we have all the oranges coming back. Okay, we got dark suddenly. Good transition though.
I guarantee I gotcha.
I like kind of the transition to all these scenes we've seen up to this point. Oh, those backing vocals too. Not to fully intro, but I like all the heart details. There's all these little parts where they have hearts somewhere, like in the back window, and then like little things. There's heart details on, which I really like. It's just cute. Such a cute little, I gotcha. It's just a little cute part of the song. What was the doorbell for? Who's driving the car? I have more questions. I think there's probably not more, but I just get suspicious that there will be. I really feel like the butterflies have to mean something. I almost feel like I do not know enough about the group to fully grasp the video, because I think overall it was, I feel like there wasn't a narrative thread that I could really pull on. There were some interesting things where they were playing with the lighting and the coloring and the certain like warmth or coldness of those colors, and obviously everything looked amazing. The sets were really cool. I like all the details with the hearts, and getting to see some of the dancing, it was just enough to make me want to see like a live performance of it, which I think is a great thing to do with this single that you're releasing. If you're going to be performing it live a bunch, you want people to be curious enough to want to see that, so great job. But I also feel like there were probably a lot of things in that I just don't know, like the butterflies, maybe the heart details have something in them. I feel like probably like the locket, like the lock with like the butterfly key, I feel like is important. There was the scene where the butterfly was going through the like keyhole of the locket, and I feel like there was probably something to that. Like I feel like there are all these little details where I'm like, I don't understand that, which makes me feel like either I am missing something because I am new here, or these are all little Easter eggs of things that are going to be important in future releases. Either way, if it's something that I will figure out at some point, no need to fill me in, but if it's something that I will only get with like intricate knowledge of the group, then by all means feed my curiosity. I feel like if it's, I don't know if there's a storyline, I don't know if there's like a specific set of imagery that they always have in their videos, because I've only seen like one fun Christmassy kind of song and their debut, and it's totally possible that neither of those would have any of the specific imagery that they put into later stuff. So let me know the things, but I think that probably at this point I'm gonna have to go into a guide. It's gonna have to happen. I'm gonna have to figure out who all of these members are and what is going on, because I'm too invested at this point. I'm like, I have questions, I want to see more things, I want to understand all of the stuff, and I think to do that, to properly do that, I'm gonna have to check out a guide and get a better idea of who this group is. So I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so this next time I post a twice reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!